The second figure of speech that we are going to cover is, like the simile, also a comparison. But the metaphor is a little bit more complicated to deal with. A metaphor is a figure of speech in which an implicit comparison is made between two things essentially unalike. As a further note to advanced students, I'd like to point out the parts of metaphors and similes. There are three parts. The first part is the topic, that is, the item which is illustrated by the image. The second part is called the image, that is, the metaphoric part of the figure. And the third part is the point of similarity, which explains in what particular aspect the image and the topic are similar. An example from a Robert Frost poem called Bereft is the following. Where I had heard this wind before, change like this is a deeper roar. What would it take, my standing there for, holding open a restive door, looking downhill to a frothy shore? Summer was past, and the day was past. Somber clouds in the west were massed. Out on the porch's sagging floor, leaves got up in a coil and hissed, blindly struck at my knees and missed. Something sinister in the tone told me my secret must be known. Word I was in the house alone, somehow must have gotten abroad. Word I was in my life alone. Word I had no one left but God. A particularly interesting metaphor in this poem is found in these two lines right here. Now, the metaphor itself, not being a simile, we don't have the words like or as here, but we can see that the leaves got up in a coil and hissed like a snake does, like a snake hiss. And snakes also strike at the knees. So here we don't have the comparison made explicit, that is, using the words like or as, but we simply have the comparison made, and the reader has to make the image appear in their minds and make the connection between coiling and hissing and striking to equaling a snake. Comparison is also the main task of the metaphor. Metaphoric language also allows the writer to express ideas in a very powerful, poetic way by using comparisons of the full range of senses and other ideas. Now we will look at some metaphors in Scripture. The example I would like to focus on here is in the third example. See how great a forest is set aflame by such a small fire, and the tongue is a fire, the very world of iniquity. The metaphor here is tongue being compared to fire. The tongue is actually not fire,